Hello all, welcome to Ranjana's Academy. Today I'm going to take the topic electromagnetic induction. So the first definition we are going to see today is what is electromagnetic induction? The phenomenon in which electric current is generated by varying magnetic fields is called EMI. So what is it? You're going to get a product and that is going to be your electric current. Okay, so what the product you're going to get is going to be electric current. How we are going to obtain that? By varying the magnetic field, which means you are going to change the value of magnetic fields in order to induce current, and this is called as electromagnetic induction. Okay, so to understand this concept better, it was proven by two scientists, Faraday and Henry. The first experiment is when the north pole of a magnet is pushed towards the coil. First of all, what is the requirements for this experiment? You need a coil, you need a bar magnet and a galvanometer which is connected to your coil. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to have a bar magnet. You're going to move the bar magnet. Okay, to understand this, I'll explain it to you point by point. Okay, when the north pole of a magnet is pushed towards the coil, the pointer and the galvanometer deflects. What do you mean by galvanometer deflects? It indicates that there is the presence of current, right? So when the north pole of the magnet is pushed towards the coil, the galvanometer deflects. When the bar magnet, any magnet you can use, the north pole we are talking about. Now, when we keep the magnet stationary position, that means you're not going to move the magnet. It is going to be fixed at one position. So what happens to the galvanometer? It doesn't show any deflection. This means that the coil is not carrying any current at that instant. Okay. Now what I'm doing is I have took the magnet closer, right? Now I'm going to take it apart. Now what happens? Still the galvanometer will deflect. But what happens in the opposite direction? Okay, so when the bar magnet is pulled away from the coil, the galvanometer deflects in the opposite direction. Okay, so what can you conclude from this experiment 1? It is the relative motion, important term. It is the relative motion between the magnet and the coil that is responsible for generation of electric current in the coil. Okay, so this is responsible for the induction of electric current. What do you mean by relative motion? You're moving the coil or the magnet, anyone, right? While you're moving the magnet, you can understand that there is the electric current which is being produced by the coil. Experiment 2. There are two coils, friends, that is C1 and C2, which are kept adjacent to each other. So imagine this is one coil that is C1 and this is another coil that is C2. In order to distinguish, I made different sizes. It can be of same size, greater, small size, not a matter. Okay. Now, C2 is carrying a current. Okay. So C2 is having what? It is carrying current I. But C1 is not having current. Okay. What can you observe is, see, when you have current, magnetic field is also present. Agree? Yes. So when C2 is having current, it also has magnetic field. So this is induced in coil 1 to the surprise. You can say they are only placed adjacent. But still, what happens? The coil 1 also shows deflection in galvanometer, indicating what? The presence of current in it also. So what can you say over here? Relative motion between the coils that induces the electric current. Simple? Yes? Okay. Now you understood experiment 2 also. What is experiment 3? Two coils C1 and C2 are going to be kept stationary. Till now our concept was relative motion. Even when they are kept stationary, C1 connected to galvanometer and C2 connected to battery through a K key. Okay. You're keeping key to be with a constant K. Right? Yes. So G shows deflection. Deflection, it is showing a momentary deflection when K is pressed. So I'm going to press the key. Okay. So galvanometer is showing what? Deflection. Pointer returns to 0 immediately. Immediately at the moment you are getting it to 0. So if key is pressed continuously, there is no deflection. If key is released, momentary deflection is in opposite direction. Okay. So deflection increases dramatically when iron rods are inserted into the coils. Now what you are doing is, you are inserting iron rods in between these coils. That is, you are placing, these are the coils. I am placing iron rods in between them. What happens? Dramatically they increase. Okay, so you can say this conclusion is always relative motion is not necessary for the production of electric current. Okay, this was the conclusion which was given from experiment 3. Now we have to understand a new term which is called as magnetic flux. What do you mean by magnetic flux? This is equal to the total number of magnetic lines of force passing through it. If you take a bar magnet and if you represent the lines of force between it, okay, that total number of magnetic lines is called the magnetic flux. The strength of magnetic field is your magnetic flux. So simply to say, a formula is given BA cos theta. Depending upon the area and magnetic field, magnetic flux is dependent. Okay, BA cos theta. So this is a scalar quantity. And the SI unit of this is Weber. Weber is what? Tesla meter squared. Tesla meter squared is equal to 1 Weber. Okay. So what is the CGS unit of magnetic flux? Maxwell. Right. So 1 Weber is equal to 10 to the power of 8 Maxwells. Okay. So what is 1 Weber equal to? 1 Weber equal to 10 to the power of 8 Maxwells. If you had understood today's concept, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.